Welcome to the Beard Speaks podcast. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the first episode of the Beard Speaks podcast of 2024. That is right. Happy New Year, everyone. I took a couple of weeks off into 2024 to just chill, relax, find my Zen place, right? And my Ikigai. I learned a little something there. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning back in. And I want to do a quick shout out. I always say it's quick, but it's not. I don't have a guest on this show, so I got a couple things I would love to share with you guys before we move on into next month, where I've got guests coming and I got a lot of killer shows lined up for you guys. Some more guitars from Mars with Mars, my buddy Mars. Some killer stuff coming out, so stay tuned. But for now, what's going on? Scottsdale, Arizona, Ashburn, Virginia, Park Ridge, Illinois, Roselle, Illinois, Knoxville, Tennessee. What's happening? You know, I love going through this list because it just shows that how far the reach goes on this podcast, and I dig it. I'm very proud of it. So Austin, Texas, what's going on? Portage, Indiana, what's happening? Burbank, Illinois, what's up? Springfield, Illinois, all the way down to the capital, Illinois. What's up, Springfield? Federal Way, Washington, Topeka, Kansas, Los Angeles, California. What's up, California? Houston, Texas, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, New York, Phoenix, Arizona, Fountain Hills, Arizona, Evanston, Illinois. What's up, Evanston? Tampa, Florida. Love you guys out there in Tampa. Round Lake, Illinois, Schaumburg, Illinois, Gardena, California. Where else we got here? We got Reading. We got Atlanta, Georgia. Hotlanta. What's up, Hotlanta? Naperville, Illinois. We also got Boardman, Oregon. What's up, Oregon? Brooklyn, New York. You got my paisans out there in Brooklyn listening. We've got, who else we got here? Council Bluffs, Iowa. Clinton, Tennessee. We got Nashville, Tennessee. What's up, Nashville? Orland Beach, Florida. South Holland, Illinois, Elmhurst, Illinois. We got Columbus, Ohio, Surprise, Arizona. What's happening? Montego Bay, St. James, Jamaica, man. What's happening? Jamaica, Cary, Illinois. The list goes on. It really just does. I'm blown away, as I always am every time I come on here and give you guys this list. There's 302 total cities. I don't read every one of them. I'll do a whole episode on that. And we've reached 34 total countries, man. Besides the United States, we got United Kingdom, China, Canada. We got Germany, we got Mexico, we got Bulgaria, India, Australia, Nigeria, Jamaica, Sweden, Dominican Republic, Russian Federation, Japan, Guatemala, Indonesia, Ireland, Netherlands, France, Spain, Denmark, New Zealand, Finland, Singapore, Brazil, Hungary, Costa Rica, Argentina, Poland, Greece, Italy, Malta, and Oman. Yeah, man, that's impressive for me, for just a little podcast I could. I ain't no I ain't no big time guy, but man, I love it, and thank you guys for always, sending out the emails. Go to thebeardspeakspodcast.com. You will see all the links to socials. We're there on LinkedIn. LinkedIn. We're there on, we ain't there yet. Well, actually I am, but you can go ahead and go and check us out on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Getter. We're on YouTube, doing killer content on YouTube. It's a lot of fun, guys, and I love bringing you this stuff. And I'm doing a lot of reviews on beard oils and everyday products that I use, and just, guy stuff. So go check that out to YouTube and share that stuff, man. Share it with your friends if you're digging it. Like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff you're supposed to do on YouTube, right? But dig the TikTok, dig the Instagram. I do a lot of content on there too. But as I was saying, I bring on the emails, man. If you guys want to hear more different topics and other guests you would like, send an email. thebeardspeakspodcast@gmail.com. We will answer you and get right back to you. And yeah, man, we'll consider, whatnot, what you guys want to hear, what you guys want to see me review, different products and stuff. I did get a shout out for some Honest Amish products, which I will go ahead and get some reviews on that. So let's move on. I do want to say thank you again for everyone that's listening and made the last couple of years very successful for the show. This is our third year, and again, it is just amazing. I really, the show is really loose. I just like to come on here and talk to some buddies, talk to some friends about music, about life in general, father's rights. Very important to me, being a dad and, having kids and, being a musician and just a lot of different things that we can talk about, motorcycles and stuff like that, and our beards, right, man? Good stuff right there. So I like to keep it loose, and I really dig that format. So if you guys are digging it, man, and obviously you are, I appreciate it, but do go ahead, send me an email. All right, guys. So this episode, I called it Living in God's Overflow. Now, I'm not one, I don't push religion. I don't push politics on anybody, right? So I don't do that. It's not my thing. But I've come to find that, the last year, the last couple of years have been a little bit of a struggle personally in my life too, with a lot of things going on, father's rights stuff I've been going through, just the death in the family, health issues in the family and things like that. And just trying to, as guys, man, as men, as fathers, what do we do to keep our priorities, right? Work balance with life, guys out there, that need to find that balance, between your kids and your wife, your significant other, and just trying to perform at your peak, at your best at work and, what you do. And it doesn't matter what you do, right, man? You can be a CEO, you can be the guy that delivers the mail, you could be the guy sweeping the floor, it doesn't matter. You got to take pride in what you do, right? Because you show up every day and you do 100%, 110% at anything that you do, you will continue to move up that ladder, right? And be successful. And you don't measure success financially. I mean, some people do. I really don't. I don't look at that as being the pinnacle. Yeah, money's great, man. You get to go out and you can buy your bikes and you can buy a car and get your toys, right? Whatever it is that you're into, guitars and, equipment and this and that, whatever. But the key, is providing that stability for your family, getting the roof over the kids' heads and your wife, putting the food on the table. Everything else is extra, right? But I don't necessarily judge my success financially. Success is really judged by happiness, just how you present yourself is key, right? So your focus on your job, your focus on your kids, your focus on your wife, and how you really balance that. Those are the key tempos here. That's just key, right? This is what you need to take care of. And everything else in life falls together. Now, the overflow, what is that? What are we talking about here? Living in God's overflow. There's a lot of stress in life, and there is a lot of stress in life and a lot of problems that pop in our way, right? You're going down the road and you got one thing coming at you at work. You got this guy over here. You're stuck in traffic, right? How many times, guys, right? Don't have to say it. You're stuck in traffic and you got these people that don't know how to drive, just killing you, man, just killing you. So, there's a lot of stress there. There's a lot of stress at work. You got deadlines, or you got that boss nagging you, or, regardless of what you're doing, you're sweeping the floors, you're delivering that mail, or you got decisions to make, you're managing a team, whatever it is. it's equally important, right? Everyone is on the level here, right? We are all working towards one goal, and that's happiness and finding balance, man, and living in that overflow. And what I mean is, you can look at a lot of things that are going on in your life and find that stress and find these problems. And it's all a season we're going through, right? I mean, you really got to think about it. These things don't last forever. You can be going through a court case. You could be going through some type of an issue at work. You could be going through, a rough patch with your kids or your wife, But these things don't last forever. They come and go like seasons, right? So you can't dwell in it. You have to look at the overflow. And what do I mean by that? The good things. We tend to go through our life and focus on the problems, right? And focus on the bad stuff that's happening. It's like, oh man, I've been stuck in this, job and I'm not happy. Well, the only person that can make that change is you, right? And a lot of us don't look at the inner, right? We don't look at ourselves on the inside and say, these decisions I made caused this, right? This is my mess I made or whatever it is, right? You created it and you stepped into it. So if sometimes you step into a pile of shit, there you are. You got to deal with that. Sometimes you step into a patch of flowers and you're like, hey man, this is good. Things are going groovy for me. Everything's going all right. And that happens, right? So we have dark times in our lives and we have these, bright spots, and they're just seasons that we go through. So my point of living in the overflow is look around you. No matter what you're going through, look at the good stuff that's going on, because things are still happening, man. If you're collecting a paycheck, your bills are getting paid, there's food on the table, your mortgage, your rent is getting paid, right? Your car payment's getting paid. And if you don't have a car and you're bussing it, man, hey, it's all right, man. You got your train ticket, your bus ticket. You're able to get back and forth from work. We've all been there. We've all been through these tough times in life, and it's a season. I've been there before, many years ago, but I've been there before where, I had to buy a piece of crap. That was falling apart, car for $400, and drove that thing back and forth to work. And every time I got in, I was like, pray to God, man, that this thing makes it to work. It'd be snowing out and just freezing cold. Is this thing going to start? I don't know. But we've all been there, man. And there's people who end up living in their cars, right? Or just being homeless for a while because something happened to them. A season went through, but this doesn't last forever. And you got to look at the overflow. You got to look at some of the good things that are happening around you. And that's what you focus on. And once you focus on the good, right? Once you focus on the good and you start to build momentum and get some pride in what you're doing, regardless of what it is. I've been there. I've swept floors before, man. I've done it. I've mopped up floors. I've worked. I've done grunt work. I've done, work where I've been managing teams. I've been all over the board, right? And no matter what I've done, and I've taught my kids the same thing. It's like, no matter what you're doing, put 110% in. If you're mopping up a floor, that better be the best floor that's ever been, the best mopping job ever, right? And it doesn't matter, because your pride and your self-worth, that's what's going to propel you forward, right? And when you are able to really put 100% into everything that you're doing, not only will your attitude be better, right? Doors will open for you, right? People will see, right, that you are genuine. And that, I think, at the end of the day, what people really want, right? They just want a genuine person, no bullshit type of person that doesn't, you can't talk circles around things. You got to just be straight up, and people appreciate that. Now, that's what I found in my life, and a lot of people that I've talked to, a lot of guys I talk to that have gone through similar, issues. It's always looking at the overflow, man. And whether you believe in just the universe, or God, I choose God, but, you got to look at the positive things that are coming in from that. And that's where we tend to lose focus, because we are always focused on the bad. And you really can't, man. There's a lot of people out there with big mouths, man. We call them the catfish, right? Okay. So there's a story, and let's see if I can get this right. The codfish were getting shipped in at one time, and they tried to freeze them and ship them in, but they found that they lost their flavor. They just the fish didn't taste good at all, frozen. So then they tried to ship them in these huge barrels with the seawater, and the same thing had happened, even worse, because the codfish were just sitting there, and so they lost their flavor. They just became mushy and just didn't they lost their flavor. So someone had a brilliant idea to put catfish in there, because it's a natural enemy of the codfish. And now they're shipping these codfish in these big tanks with the catfish, and the catfish were put there in place to keep basically the codfish on their toes, so to speak, right? So they're moving around. So they're living in their almost natural environment, quote unquote. So once they ship them to their destination, codfish taste great. Now, I don't know how that really worked, but that's the case. They got to look at people as the catfish, right? They're put in place to give you that pressure that keeps you on your toes, right? And you are able to rise above that, and you are able to stay focused on the positive and not listen to these big mouth catfish. There's people that are put in place. God puts these people in your atmosphere, and they put right around the time where things are just going tough, and you've got this person there that's got the big mouth that's talking, and it just is what it is, right? So you need to focus, and focusing on your life and focusing on the overflow is your number one priority, because this is going to keep you on the straight path, man. It is, and so a lot of the things that have been going on with my life, I've noticed, man, I lost track of the overflow. I stopped looking at that. And when I took a second and I stopped and I said, man, these last couple of years, I've been going through, custody case, going through, court, and man, that can be just draining. Okay. And we'll talk a little bit more about that at one time, but we've talked about it with some guests, how going through a court battle is one of the toughest things. I've battled cancer, man. Okay, I've gone through a cancer treatment, chemo, radiation, being sick like that. Nothing prepares you for being in the middle of the court system that is just not built for. It's not just not built to be good to you, man. So nothing will prepare you for that. And when you are going through something like that, you tend to really pull your focus away from the overflow. And when I stopped, and I finally did, right? I finally stopped looking at the bad, and I looked at the overflow, and I said, look at this, man. Look at all the good stuff that's going on around me. Job is kicking ass. I got a great wife. I got good kids. Yeah, there's some problems going on, but it's okay. Nothing that, when you look at it and you realize that it's nothing bad, because all of the good in the overflow will make you focus and be present for the good, man, and be present for yourself. So you're not bringing in all that stress and bringing in all that negativity in your life. And then the negative starts to overflow into the good, man. And then the good stuff in your life starts to fall apart. And that is the moral of the whole story. You don't want to take the negative, even if it's just one thing, and man, it could be one hell of a thing. And I can understand that, man. There's been times where people could sit there and tell me, hey, man, it's not that bad. And then I'm like, no, man, it is. You're not living through this. So guys out there, I get it. I get it. If you're going through something that's so hard that you're looking at it going, this is never going to end. No, you can't think like that. You got to look at what's on the outside of that. And you got to start living for that. Because the bad, it'll end, man. It's a season, right? And whatever the outcome may be, you'll get through it, okay? Because you are strong enough to get through it. And what makes you strong enough is going and focusing on the overflow, all the good stuff that's going on around you. Yeah, and if everything's going bad around you guys, I can't help you, okay? That's something I can't do for you. But it's not like that for everybody. It really isn't, man, unless you're a criminal, you know. And I'm going to guess that 99.9% of you guys listening to my show are not, right? But if you are, we can convert you, man. We can get you to good, right? We can get you to the good side, get you to the light side. But I think at the end of the day, if you really look at and take account of all the good stuff that's going on in your life, whether it's your job, you know, your pay. Sometimes, you know, guys, I know we work and it's like, look at this. I mean, I'm getting underpaid or whatnot, but you can change it, right? By being focused on your job, doing the best you can, quit bitching and moaning about your pay. I know it sucks. We're all going through tough times right now, but you know, make it stretch, make it work, do what you can, cut back here, cut back there. I've learned how to live on a shoestring budget, you know, in the past, and I do it now. You know, when times are tough, you pull back a little bit, right? But you make it work. And if you are working in a job that you can't stand, move on, man. Find something else. Now's the time. There are people out there, and I hate to say it, and they don't want to work, right? So there's people out there that they really don't want to work. So there's opportunities out there for you to look for a better job, a better paying job, and just keep climbing that ladder, right? And know your worth, man. Go out there and get what you're worth. Find that job that pays better. So as you live and bask in that overflow, that negative stuff, all that bad shit that's going on in your life will eventually erode, man, and move away. And our life, no one said our life's going to be perfect. You know, God didn't put us on this world and say, hey, man, boom, there's the garden, go enjoy, right? There's bad everywhere. The catfish are out there, right? There's going to be somebody out there. There's a catfish at work. There's a catfish, when you go to the grocery stores, they're everywhere. There's people out there everywhere getting in your way, right? Got the big mouth. They got something to say. It's trying to put you down or whatever the case may be. You got to ignore it, man. You got to rise above it. You got to be that person that can rise above the garbage, right? And look at what's best for you, what's best for your life. And the overflow is where you got to look, man. That's in a nutshell, guys. Let's look forward to 2024, man, and live in that overflow. Let's look at the best stuff that's going on in our lives, right? Do something that makes you happy and gets you away from that negativity. You can't live in it all the time, right? And I know a lot of guys out there that, if you're going through tough times, man, send an email, thebeerspeakspodcast.com. Let's talk about it, right? Let's help you guys get out of that funk. Find something that means something to you, that you can focus on, and that you can build yourself up so you can keep moving on in life, man, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here for living our best life, and you're not going to live your best life if you're focused on the negative and you're focused on that bad stuff that's going on. Those things will come and go. They always will. There will always be something bad. So the thing is you got to allow yourself some time to just, hey, you got to deal with it. I get it. I do too. We all do. And then we got to turn it off, man, and turn over and look at, your awesome wife that, loves you and helps take care of you and take care of your kids and, take that vacation. If you ain't got the money to go somewhere, do something together, man. There's so many things out there to do, and keep yourself just focused and busy on the good stuff, man. That's what you got to do. It's all about family. It's all about focusing on the good, man. And we all have good in our lives. You just got to open your eyes and look for it. So, yeah, man, I think I'm going to close it at that. So I want to thank you guys definitely for, again, sharing the show. I see so many new listeners coming in from the emails I get from my Facebook, from my TikTok, Instagram. I get a lot of messages, and I dig it, man. I really appreciate everyone that shares, because it's because of you guys that the word gets out there and everyone gets to hear the show, and it gets shared around. And I'm digging that you guys like the content. It's awesome, and I love doing the show. And this is one of the things that I focus on. See, this is one of the things that I love to do besides playing my guitar and doing gigs and stuff like that, and hanging out with my kids and doing stuff with my wife. My love and joy is doing this podcast, and I dig it, man. So, guys, I appreciate it. Where can you hear the podcast? You guys know, man. I tell you this every damn time. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podcast Index, Overcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Podcast Addict, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, Deezer, Listen Notes, Player FM, Good Pods, and Podfriend. You can hear us on all of those platforms. Go to www.thebeardspeakspodcast.com, and the links to all the socials are there. Drop me a note on there. Let me know where you guys are at. I know there's so much social media out there. I don't even know where the hell to start sometimes, but go check it out. And in the meantime, guys, focus on the good. Focus on God's overflow. That's where you will find happiness. God bless.